everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to our Spending Freeze freebie. This is the October edition, and so I have something fun to share today and I have something fabulous to share today. Oh yes, so fun. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to first of all talk about how is your spending freeze going for you, and whatever that spending freeze is, whether it's something small, something big, or if it's short term or long term, it doesn't matter. That spending freeze option is your decision, nobody else's. And so we're going to talk about some YouTube gals you can follow if you're interested in another spending freeze for a continuing amount of time. So hang on for that. So how is things going for me? I'm basically using some gift cards, getting a few things here and there, but overall I have been organizing the last several weeks. So my desire to shop and to bring anything new into this space, I really don't have the itching for that. I really don't have the desire for that because, when you organize and then when you do different levels of organizing, whether it be 1, 2, or 3, whether you're scratching the surface, kind of getting into it, or level 3, you're really getting into what you own and where you have it, how do you access this, what do you think about it, do you like it, do you not, are you changing your purchasing in the future? That's level 3. And so for me, that's what's been going on. I've been looking at what I have, how much I have a lot of, how much I don't have a lot of, what I truly, truly enjoy for product when it comes to this hobby. And for me, it will always be paper. It has always been paper, always will be paper. And I don't feel guilty or bad about how much paper I own, because I probably have more paper than most people, but not as much as some people. But then when it comes to tools and things like that, I don't have a lot compared to what most people have. So when you are organizing and looking at your space, look at the actual product and the amount of that product, of your punches and your brads and your tools and your machines and your paper and your paper pads and then your markers, whatever product that you love. If it would be the last thing you get rid of, it is quite okay if that is what you have the most of. And for me, it's paper. So as I've been moving things around, I noticed that about myself, and I caught myself saying, wow, I have too much paper, this is a problem. And then I thought, no, it's not, because this is what I love. And if you said get rid of everything in your space, I would, except for my paper, because I could do a lot with paper. Paper and a pair of scissors will keep me busy for the rest of my life. So that's interesting when you have that epiphany, that don't feel bad about what you have a lot of if that is your favorite product, if that is your go-to, if that is your love in life. Yes, definitely. Because I was just telling my hubby, we were traveling, and I said to him, we were having this conversation, and I said, even if I just had a photo album, I could do a lot with paper. I really could. I would just simply cut some paper down and mat my photo on it and write on the back if I had to. I wouldn't want to do without my paper. Paper is my inspiration with my photos. Those are my things. And so then another thing is that I've also, as I've been changing things around, and I said that in some of my other videos, there's nothing wrong with keep changing things in your space and in this hobby. You almost have to, because you don't want to get into a rut. You don't want things to be boring and ho-hum, and then you're not interested in doing it. Keep changing. That doesn't mean keep organizing, but keep changing the way you do things, the way you look at things, your mindset, and the way you approach things, also to your purchasing. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been thinking about what am I going to do for next year, and I will talk more about this at the end of the year. But the one thing I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to ask for gift cards for the holidays and Christmas and my birthday and Mother's Day. I think I'm going to stop that cycle, because I find that I'm shopping at places that maybe are not my favorite. And so we'll talk more about that in depth at the end of December, but that's what my thinking is right now. I think I'm going to stop asking for gift cards for gifts and just not ask for gifts. If anybody says, what do you want? What do you want? I say, just spend time with me. I just don't want any more gift cards, because I think I'm bringing in things that maybe I wouldn't have brought in if I didn't have that gift card. It's, again, another thought process. And then also to something that I have came to a change about in my mindset about Tuesday morning. Oh, interesting. So hang on to the end of December and I will talk in length more about that. So as I've been going through the spending freeze, not only am I bringing less in, I'm thinking about where I'm putting those less items. I don't really want to bring in items. And then what am I missing from what I'm buying and from what I'm buying versus what I'm bringing in, I'm thinking about what am I missing? What am I missing out on? What am I truly missing when it comes to purchasing? And then, of course, using gift cards for this year for my spending freeze, there's been a change in that too. It's interesting how all of this works. I do think a spending freeze is clearly more than just using your stash and your inventory. It really is a thought process. And I think that's something that carries over into your other areas of your home and your life and things as well. Absolutely. So let's get into the fun part of our spending freeze freebie. Well, first of all, let me talk about that. There is a stash dive, a year-long stash dive going on right now. Some YouTube gals have got together, and I definitely want to mention this. All the links will be below to their channel. And this is something that they want to do now. They're spending freeze, and they clearly say in their spending freeze, it is what they want it to be. And so some are going to continue to get their monthly kits. Some are going to do this. Some are going to do that. So for most people, when you say spending freeze, reaching that zero, that you don't spend a single penny for a year, and you're not even using any gift cards, you're not bringing anything new in, that is basically unrealistic, because we get gifts, we win prizes, we win giveaways, people send us happy mail. So that notion that nothing will be coming in, that's a little bit not real. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But your spending freeze is what the limit you want, what you can handle, and what, frankly, you want. Because my hubby thinks a spending freeze is null and void. He doesn't think there should be a spending freeze at all. I just want to have a handle on things. That's just the way I am. I find that I use more if I put a limit to myself. It's the same way with peanut M&Ms. I'll just tell you. If I did not tell myself back in 2007, if I did not stop limiting that item in my diet, meaning as in none, I would never stop eating that product. I could eat it 3 days a week. No, I'm sorry, I could eat it 3 times a day for every meal, 7 days a week, 31 days out of the month, and 12 months out of the year. I love peanut M&Ms, but I have not had a single one since 2007. Yeah, because I had to completely limit that. I just love peanut M&Ms, and every once in a while I think, oh, I should just forget about it and buy a pack of them. No, it would start a cycle that I don't ever want to start again. So for me, it's peanut M&Ms. What is it for you? I just know there's some things I just can't go to. And so it's the same way with buying. There's sometimes you just have to stay out of certain stores, or sometimes you have to stay away from certain videos, sometimes you have to stay away from certain channels, or sometimes you have to stay away from certain design team videos. It's just the way it is for everybody, and it changes. So that's all normal. If something is a trigger, you have to know that as well. So, okay, going into the spending freeze. Yes, these gals are doing a year-long stash dive spending freeze. And so I think so far there's Maura, Christy, Shannon, and then my subscriber Sharon, she's going to do it on Instagram. And so I will have all those channels linked below, and so definitely hop over, subscribe to those channels, and get that inspiration and see how they're handling it, what their thought process, the kits they're building, what they've already had success, because they've already been doing it for a month. Check out those ladies. You will not regret it. Very inspiring. Yes, they're just inspiring ladies. I really like it. It's nice to hang around people that are doing the same thing you're doing. Okay, so after we talk about the stash dive, let's talk about something free, because recently we did a 3-day Disney little mini series around here where we did some organizing embellishments. We also did organizing paper, a flip through type thing, and then what papers you can add to that category. It doesn't have to just be this color scheme right here. And then also we did a start to finish talking about Roy Disney, and then we do have a Disney playlist, so you could look into that below. I will have that linked. So I wanted to share something fun, because a lot of my subscribers said they don't have a lot of Disney embellishments. So I wanted to share something that was just fun, and this is from, let me get my iPad here. This is from the website Two Magical Moms, okay? And so they have this free digital scrapbook kit, and so really what you do is you just save it, and then of course, they have recommendations here. They have photo mats, blank note cards, journaling pages, this, that, and the other thing. So what I did was I just saved the images and I printed mine on cardstock, and you could see. And what I would do is I would simply just cut those down and put them in my embellishment box. But they have some tags that says meeting Mickey, meeting Minnie, our first trip, and then of course these cut aparts here. You could use as journaling spots, of course. You could use as a title or a cluster base. And then also, too, don't forget, you could use this as basically pattern paper and make your own embellishments. So is this something fun? And then also, too, they shared something really fun where this is a website where it's two moms and they love Disney, but they don't just share scrapbooking stuff. They also have DIYs, a lot of fun recipes. So it's just a cute little blog for a little bit of everything. I don't think they've had anything posted for a few years. It's just a cute blog. It really, really is. And I'm glad things are still available. But they have some DIYs, especially for holidays and parties. So they have more printables and just little gift ideas, things like that. It's just a cute blog. You definitely have to look into it. And then this was something that they shared that had caught my eye, is that they made a Mickey Mouse birdhouses. Wouldn't that be a fun, simple project to do with your kids? I think that's just adorable. Yes, especially if you're planning a Disney trip, you know how you build up that anticipation. This would be a craft that you could do for the family. That would be a fun family craft. So I wanted to share that cute blog. Definitely head over. And again, they have some great recipes too. You know, we're moms. We all like to share recipes. So again, it's just a cute, fun blog, some Disney stuff. So print that out. So then let's go to the fabulous. Yes. Let's go to the fabulous share that I have. And so it is from a website called The Old Design Shop. Now this website, whew, I tell you, again, I don't even know how I found this website. It's just through something. You know how that goes. This website has so much. I'm just going to hit the gallery. Look at all this right here. From advertising to flowers to garden to sewing to storybook to women to Easter to children to textiles, poetry, postcards, men, ephemera, Christmas, dictionary, fashion, French, school, office, library, wedding, the sea, fashion, baby, food and drink. There is so much on this website. Now, she does have a Etsy shop, but what she does is she shares free printables of these items, and then she'll show you in her Etsy shop where she has more available for sale. But you don't have to go to the Etsy shop to enjoy. She has, okay, so let's just click on ephemera because she has a big category. So she has all these items, and they're printables, and they're free. They're free printables, all of these. And I'm going to show you the ones I printed. I mean, there's doll babies. There's receipts, magazine ads, vintage book covers, clip arts, and right there's 13 pages of stuff. Let's just go to page 3. And so there is more labels. There's seed labels. There's Victorian women. It's just art, French invoices. Yes. I mean, this is a really, really great website. And again, it's for free. Now, I do want to mention she does have a terms of use. So let's just talk about that for a minute because I am sharing this website, but there is a terms of use. You know, they call it the angel policy, something like that. And so these images you can use, and she tells you where these images came from. They came from a dictionary from 1922, or she has it listed every time you pull up a printable where it came from. It's just really interesting. And she says you are allowed to use these for personal use and commercial use. However, you may use up to 6 images of any one project you create to sell. And then of course you would read the rest of that. So, and of course you want to give credit back to where it's due, which is the Old Design Shop. Okay, and that's the name of the website and the store, Old Design Shop. So you can, of course, I just use it for personal, but if you do selling at craft fairs and things too, she spells out exactly you can use some of these, but only 6 of the images of one project. Okay, so keep that in mind. You can't be printing out 25 and then sell them. That's not what our policy is. And people will find out, you know, you can get in trouble for that. So you do have to pay attention to angel policies. But for personal use, that's us scrapbookers. We're good to go. So don't worry about that. But I do want to say that sometimes when you go on Google and you look for free printables, you have to be leery of where it's going to lead you to. I was looking for some newspaper. That's what I was wanting. I wanted some printable newspaper because I have something planned in November. And it came up to the printable. But then the ads that was on these printables, and we're just talking about newspapers and vintage clippings and things like that, the ads there just weren't very good ads. And so I just thought, this is terrible. So you do have to be careful about what websites you go to. And if you have to jump through 6 hoops to print something, I won't do it. But this is just great. You just basically save the picture as it is, put it in your photos or your documents, and then you insert. And I'll show you what I did. So I found a lot of things. Now, this was just about a half hour's worth of work, but I wanted to show you what I did. And I want to show you. So here are some invoices I mean, it just looks like a scanned copy. Here is some address labels. Here's some dictionary. Here are some library due dates. Isn't that fun? And then we have some butcher invoices. Again, you can see that I wanted to show you that you could print it on white or ivory cardstock. It's up to you. Some people don't always have ivory or cream cardstock. So there's the invoice on white, and there's the invoice on ivory. And all I did was simply save the picture as a photo, and then in my Microsoft Word I just inserted the photo, okay, because sometimes I wanted to print more than one. And you can see that I printed everything in landscape, not portrait. I think you can get more on, and then change your margins so you have a bigger landscape format. And so what else do we have? We have some dictionary. Love this size too, because this is the reason I wanted to show this, because in November we are going to have a 4for4 series doing the heritage round, and we're absolutely going to use heritage, the dark vintage type papers. And so I'm going to be playing around with a little bit of for embellishments. I wanted to show a couple of different ideas, nothing major, just something small. And something like this, if you don't have this in your inventory or stash, this could come in handy. So you could do that. And then also, this isn't just all black and white, there is some colored things. These are coupons. Oh, these sewing notions, you know, that was perfect. And then she had vintage dolls, paper dolls. I printed 2 on 1. And isn't that lovely? Now, I think she has these designed that you could print these out on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, read her instructions, and then you could absolutely use these as paper dolls. I just did it for the clip art. I'm not going to use it as a paper doll, but that's a nice size. That really is a nice size. And then, of course, here are some checks. And here is some handwriting lessons. Here's a Milk of Magnesia. Old time label. Very, very fun. And then of course we have some coupons for ice. And then what I did, this is an image, you know, this is a photo, and so you can see I just duplicated them to fill up this sheet, because I'm going to play with these in the 4for4 series. And then of course, if you've ever gotten anything by Jenny Bolin, or those Jelly Bean mixed media packs, these were exactly the same things that was in that. Isn't that interesting? So this was one, this was one, this was one, this is one, and then I just filled up the sheet to use those. So, I mean, and this is not even a small fraction of everything that she has on there for printable when it comes to vintage. And of course, it's called Old Design Shop. It's old designs, it's clip art, it's dictionary, it's newspaper, it's invoices, it's paper dolls. Just go to that gallery. Okay, so right there it is. And it says, I'll just go right here. Home, About, Contact, and Gallery. Hit the gallery, and all that drop menu, that is the category. So then you could pick the, you know, hone in onto the category you want. And I looked into the school, office, and library. I looked into sewing. I looked into labels, textures. But again, what I did here, this was just about a half hour's worth of work, because I could have sat there all day and just printed and printed. There's just a lot on there, of course. And so then she will link you to the Etsy shop if you're interested. But we're on a spending freeze. We're not interested in that. But if you know someone that would be, definitely recommend. And this is a great, great resource. This is something you want to bookmark and not forget if you like these type of images. I mean, you can do a lot with these things. Absolutely. So I wanted to share that. So that is our spending freeze freebie for the month of October. I hope you look at the fabulous share or the fun share that I had. And look at everything that I talked about will be linked below. This was I think it was called 2 Magical Moms, and this was Old Design Shop. Those links will be below. Just go over there, spend a little time, have fun, and see what you could get for free when it comes to Disney or some vintage. And again, you will see this make an appearance in November, sometime in November. I'm not sure when that series will be, but sometime in November, and you will see these pop up in when I build my kit for the 4for4 series, because it's just ephemera, it's clip art, it's a little bit of fun. And so this is just a Mickey punch, but I will show you in some of these dictionary or these library cards. These are great for title bases, cluster bases, or just ephemera. It's just fun. And then of course you could use this as a piece of, absolutely a block piece of paper. There's just so many options, and we'll talk more about that in the 4for4 series. So that's coming up. And so I'm going to do a vintage round, and I'm going to use vintage papers. But you can do heritage. You can use pastels. It don't have to be dark paper. So if you want to join that, keep that in the back of your mind. That's coming up. Absolutely. So that is what I have for this October Spending Freeze freebie. I hope you enjoyed it. I love this website. This is a keeper. This really, not only did I bookmark it, I put it in my favorites and I wrote it in my scrappy notebook. This is how good this website is. Amazed how I have never heard of it before, but it's great. Okay, look at that, 1921, 1922. I think those paper dolls still had it on here. This was published January 1922. Absolutely. Sign me up. Okay, so that's what I have. Come back to RTS because you never know what we're going to do. Bye.